Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Trent here at Rexburg Motorsports to do another walk around with the machines that we've got here. Today we are going over the Polaris General. Now, the Polaris General is an awesome option for those of you guys out there that aren't quite sure what you're going to be doing with this side-by-side. Is it going to be mostly a play machine, or is it going to be mostly a work machine? If you're not quite sure yet, the General goes right through that middle ground. Gives you tons of performance and tons of workability. Now, let me show you a couple things that make the General an awesome option for you to jump into the side-by-side game and give you the best of both worlds. Let's start off with the performance of this guy and a little bit of the specs. So the Polaris General comes in at 62 inches wide. Okay, so it's not as wide as the big RZRs, but it's a little bit wider than, Trail Legal is. So it'll still give you a nice, sure-footed, planted stance for when you're going to be playing out in the sand dunes, or if you're going to be playing up in the hills, but it's going to give you that nice stability that you need if you're going to be towing something or if you're going to be hauling a load. Now, the Generals come with a 27-inch tire stock, and this is right here, this General is the White Lightning model, so it comes with 12-inch steel wheels. If you jump into the next model up, the premium model, it comes with 14-inch rims still with 27-inch tires. The Polaris General has 12 1/4 suspension travel in the front and 13 1/4 in the rear. So it'll give you a nice plush ride. If you remember on the Maverick Trail and the Wildcat Trail that we did a walkthrough on, those trail models have right about 10 inches of suspension travel. So you're gaining about 2 and 3 suspension travel inches with this machine, so it'll give you a nice plush ride. Now, the Polaris General has a 1000cc motor. It's an inline twin that makes 100 horsepower. So the cool thing with that is this 100 horsepower motor is going to give you tons of that adrenaline rush when it's time to play. It's going to be able to climb you up any hill that you're looking to do and be able to zip you through those desert roads with all the speed that you need. Now, a big thing with this is, again, it totes that balance between performance and workability. Let me show you a couple of the cool workability things that this has got. So the General comes with a big bed. Now, this bed can haul up to 600 pounds, and it is a dump bed. So when you're going to be using this machine for camping or for working around the property, you can load it up with up to 600 pounds worth of stuff, firewood, that kind of thing, and then you can dump it out where you need it to be, which is great. This dump bed also gives you great access to this motor. So if you need to do, air filter, nice and easy to get to. If you need to fill your oil or change your oil, everything is nice and accessible on this machine. And that's been one of Polaris's great strengths, where they've always had the motors in the back. You can always get to stuff really, really easy. And you can get a good look at this suspension. The suspension on this model is made by Polaris and Satch. So you get good suspension. If you jump up into the premium models, they come with Fox shocks that are going to be adjustable and a little bit better ride. Now, one of the cool things with this, again, let's close that bed just real quick, is when you're looking at the workability, this has got a 2-inch receiver. So you can pull the receiver right out of your pickup and throw it in there, and you can haul and tow with this machine as well. Now, Polaris rates the General at being able to tow 1,500 pounds, which that's a good strong number. Just to give you an idea, the Rangers can tow about 2,000 pounds. So it's about 500 pounds shy of the Ranger, but it'll tow a lot more than a RZR because the RZR doesn't even come with a hitch. The RZR just comes with a tow hook. So again, that's where they're kind of making this a jack-of-all-trades machine. You get the great performance, great suspension, but then you can still work with it all day long. Now let's come on over here and I'll show you just a few other little things on this. The General, one of the cool things that this comes with is a full half door. The full half door is awesome for keeping dirt and dust out of your cab while you're riding, but then it still gives you that open upper nature so that you can have the option to close this off with an upper door. And if you notice in the cab, this groove, the General comes with Polaris's Pro Fit cab. And what that does is it makes it so all of the accessories fit in nice and tight, so you don't have that whistle noise that happens when you've got you know, round tubular chassis with just, you know, the accessories bolted on there. So it gives you a nice tight fit for your accessories, and again, these half doors are a great value adder. Now they do open the conventional way, and you can take a peek at this cab. You've got 2 bucket seats with this machine, and the driver's seat is adjustable. And then you've got your tilt wheel. Now if you notice with that tilt wheel, the whole gauge cluster moves. Again, most of the manufacturers are starting to do that because it helps it so that no matter where you're getting that wheel, it'll vary with you so that you can have the best view of the gauges. If you've ever been in your pickup truck and you slide that steering wheel up, sometimes it'll block some of the gauge cluster. They don't want that to happen with this machine, and so you can just keep that good visibility with all the things that you need to look at. Now if you notice these little switches, I'll show you this. This has got the light controls right here with off, low beam, and high beam, and then the 4-wheel drive modes. Now Polaris does something pretty cool with these in that they've got 3 modes, and 2 of them are 2-wheel drive modes. This bottom one is what they call turf mode. What this 2-wheel drive mode is it acts like a 2-wheel drive mode on your pickup. It's an open rear differential. So if you're doing some work on the pavement or on your own grass on your lawn and you don't want to rip up your grass, you use that, and that'll save your grass when you're on your lawn, and it'll save your tires when you're on your pavement. You won't be chirping that inside tire when you turn. Then you've got the standard 2-wheel drive mode. That 2-wheel drive mode is a locked rear diff, and so that's going to be a lot of fun and give you a playful nature on dirt and gravel and stuff like that. It'll make the machine more happy to throttle input and be able to slide it around corners. So this last mode that they've got is Polaris's all-wheel drive mode. And what this is it's for their 4-wheel drive. Polaris found a clever way to keep good handling and still give you the traction of a 4-wheel drive system with their all-wheel drive. What it does is this mode still only sends the power to the rear wheels until the rear wheels slip 1/8 of a turn. Now as soon as they slip 1/8 of a turn, it sends power to the front differential to give you all the grip that you're needing. Now if you think about this for a little bit, if you've ever had a full-time 4-wheel drive 4-wheeler or full-time 4-wheel drive truck, if you're going through a corner on a dirt road and you're in 4-wheel drive and you try to steer, it has a tendency to push the front end and just to plow through the corner. It tries to keep going straight while you're trying to steer with your input to get it to turn. Now this mitigates that because as you're in the all-wheel drive system, if you're coming around a corner, you're still getting that good steering feel from the front end and good bite from just a 2-wheel drive mode. But then again, as soon as that rear wheel slips even just 1/8 of a turn, it sends power so that you can get all 4 wheels just pushing you forward. Now that's great for climbing, and it's very, very seamless. You wouldn't even know when it's switching back and forth because Polaris has integrated it so well into their machines. They've been using that all-wheel drive system for a long time, like over the last 2 decades. Now let's go through a couple other little things on this cab, and I'll show you something really cool. Now this is going to go back into, again, the General being a good compromise between full performance and workability. So look at all this storage that you get with this. You get right here, you get a nice deep storage compartment, and it's got a little 12-volt charger in there. So you can plug in your phone or plug in a GPS and be able to pack all that you want. And then you look at right here, look at all these little spots that you can put stuff. They've also got a nice big glove box that comes with the toolkit in it and stuff like that. But you've got another 12-volt right here. So you can have up to 2 things plugged into 12-volt chargers while you're working around. You do have cup holders, and then you've got a couple little things to make your passenger nice and comfortable. So this is the passenger grab holds. Now if you remember, if you've sat in a RZR before, or any of the sport side-by-sides, it's a pair of bars in front of you. So instead of having, you know, kind of a more aggressive position for your passenger, it's more workmanlike in that it's just right there to the side. Nice and comfortable. Now with their transmission, this is a belt drive transmission, and it's got the 5 modes. So you've got park, reverse, neutral, low, and high. Now you cannot shift through these on the fly, especially between high and low. You do have to stop to make a gear change. But that low range, what it's going to be great for is when you're using this to work and pull trailers and pull stumps and do that pulling and heavy lifting or snow plowing or heavy load climbs, that low range is going to save your belt. Which again, those belts are right about $200. So it's a good idea to use that low range when the situation arises that you need it. That high range is going to be great for all of your play driving, down desert roads and stuff like that. And it'll give you plenty of top speed. If you notice, they've got just a few little things that you can look around, and find warnings for. Polaris wants to make sure that you have the best possible experience with their General. Now, again, this General is for those of you that are not quite sure what you're going to be doing with this side-by-side. If you're going to be playing a ton and still working with it, this is an awesome option. We'd love to show you this machine and all the other models of the General and all the other things that we have here. Come check us out here at Rexburg Motorsports. We'd love to see you here. Thanks.